everybody? This is Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze, and tonight is a special episode with Bennett. Now, Bennett works at Dynamic Discs. He works in our Amazon fulfillment area, but most importantly, he's our MJ18 world champion. That's right. He works at Dynamic Discs, lives in Emporia, Kansas, and it's an interesting story of how he went from losing the world championship in 2019 and then coming back 6 years later and winning the world championship. So let's learn a little bit more about Bennett. How you doing, Bennett?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Bobby?
Doing pretty good. It's been a couple days since the big event.
Absolutely.
Has everything
yeah.
kind of synced in? All the families probably said congratulations and all that stuff.
Yeah, I've gotten so many congratulations from so many people, and it's synced in a bit more now. It's really nice.
Yeah. In fact, I know I missed it today. I'm working from home in Oklahoma. I missed your little celebration at work. I think they said ice cream cake was going to be there.
Yep, it was ice cream cake. They had two cakes. One of them had a congratulations Bennett written on it in frosting stuff, and the other one had like dinosaurs on it, and it was kind of strange. It was like a cake they had left over or something that they gave them. It was kind of funny.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's cool. All right, well, let's jump right into it real quick, just
right.
so everybody can get to know you. Well, first of all, just in case you hadn't heard the news or been following Dynamic Disc, you're talking to Bennett, and he won the MJ18 World Champion. So you're talking to a world champ right now. So I'm sure that feels good. But just so we can know a little bit more about you, tell us your disc golf story. How did you even discover disc golf, and how did you get started playing?
Yeah, I think how I discovered disc golf was my dad has played for a long time, and we always had a basket in our front yard. And I think really it started with I just kind of grabbed some discs from the basket and started messing around with it when I was outside one time, and I just fell in love with it from there, really. And started going out to the course a bit more, and then that led into my playing 2019 Junior Worlds.
Yeah, so like you
golf.
went, like a lot of people, they start playing and they fall in love with the sport and they want to play it more and more. But like, did you? How long did it take for you to initially say, you know what, I want to compete in disc golf instead of just playing casually?
Really, that came much later, like 3 years later, because I started in 2019, but like I really wanted to get real competitive with it when it came to like 2022 was when that kind of happened.
Wait, so you competed in a world champion in 2019, but you didn't want to get serious competing until a few years later? Tell me a little bit more about that.
It's a little strange.
Yeah.
So yeah, I played Junior Worlds my first year ever playing disc golf, and I had played it. They had spots left in the division MJ12, and I got one of those spots, and I ended up getting dead last, but I still had a lot of fun. But after that, when it came to like the colder time of the year, I stopped playing disc golf, and I pretty much didn't play for multiple years up until 2022 when I had gotten grounded from playing video games at the time, and I had started playing disc golf again, and I got hooked on it again, and that's when I wanted to compete and get better at the sport and push myself to be the best.
Okay, so you got, what video games do you like to play?
The only video game I had played really was Fortnite. That's the main one that I've played.
So you got grounded from video games and decided to go play more disc golf. That's good.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that's interesting. You got last place in 2019. How did that feel? I mean, obviously it didn't feel good, but like what went through your mind after getting last place?
I don't think I really cared at the time. It was 6 years ago, so I don't remember too well. But
Yeah.
I don't think I cared too much about getting last because I wasn't as competitive about disc golf at the time. I still really enjoyed the sport. I still had so much fun playing. I don't think I really cared too much though.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So a few years later, you decided to start really getting into the competition side of things. What did you start doing? Like, did your practice routine start changing, or what was kind of the mindset there?
Yeah, all my practice would just be outside. I have a great space in my front yard and on my street to be able to throw in towards my yard. And I would just like go to different spots and I have like a whole like 6 hole course pretty much set up, like different spots that I have designated for different holes. And I would just throw and mostly just trying to throw in,
Just
just
throw
trying
the
to
bat.
throw
That's
in
probably
from the different spots.
yeah.
And that's mostly how my routine started. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so you started competing and you started getting a game plan together doing it. Did you play a lot of tournaments?
Yeah, so 2022, I've got 2022 I played my first tournament back in Kansas City at Bad Rock Creek. I got 13th in that one out of I'm not sure how many.
Yeah.
I didn't do a great job. I think at the time I was like 6 something rated from my first tournament. Yeah, I
Hmm.
was 675 rated after my first tournament. I shot like 800 something, like 850 rated, I think, 870. I don't know. But that tournament in 2022 was my first tournament back, and then I started playing again in 2020, or I continued to play in 2023 and 4, and yeah.
Nice. So, how do you feel it's different when you play in a tournament versus just kind of casual playing? Do you
Yeah.
shift anything in your mind, or do you or how you play?
It definitely changes from tournament to casual play.
Yeah.
If I'm going out just like with a few friends to play, I'm not focusing too much on how I'm playing. I'm just out having fun with my friends. I'll usually try some dumber shots sometimes, try and go big turnover on some hole or something silly like that. But in tournament, I'm definitely focused up, taking the most probable lines and focusing on those putts a lot more.
Gotcha. So, how long before the World Championship here in Emporia? How long? I mean, as soon as they announced it, we were like, "I'm going to compete in it."
Like 2019?
Yeah. No, for 20
Yeah.
the
No,
this past year.
this year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I heard it was here in town, I right then I decided that I was going to play in it. Absolutely.
And then, kind of, what
I
was your game plan there?
mhm. Game plan for the tournament was pretty much to birdie every hole. I like just my gameplay in my tournaments I play very aggressive.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get most of the holes that I can. I definitely usually I can recognize the holes that are more difficult and that I need to play for par. But this one there's only like a couple holes that I would usually do that on.
Yeah.
Um Lost my train of thought a little. My
That's
bad.
okay. So when you so okay, so this is going to be it's going to be it's Worlds in your home course,
Hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
how did your like practice change? How does it change for you when you know you're practicing a course that you know is going to be played in the World Championship?
Yeah. After I knew that and like after my previous tournament before Junior Worlds, the I was playing Jones East and Champions Landing. And I was most of the time I was going out to play focused rounds and deciding what shots I was throwing where and trying different shots on different discs on different lines. That's kind of how that went.
Yeah. So take us through round one. I can't remember. I'm looking
Hmm.
up the scores. Where were you at after round one?
Round one, I was at 3 under, and I was 4 strokes back of the leader at that point, and I think that was tied. I'm getting it up here.
Yeah.
I was tied 13th and 4 strokes back of the lead at that point. I was feeling real confident in my game too. I didn't do great that first round. I ended up missing, I think I counted like 8 putts that I usually should make, but I did have some good holes in there too. I had a stretch of 5 birdies in a row because my throwing finally warmed up, and that's really what got me back into the tournament in that round.
Yeah. So you say you didn't quite do quite as good as you wanted to. How does
Mhm.
that mess with your mindset at all?
Yeah. Um, in the past, it would definitely mess with my mindset a lot more than it does now. Bad holes in the past, I would get down on myself about them, and I dwell on the bad things that happened. A missed putt, a bad throw, tree hit, you know. But as my game has progressed, my mindset on it has definitely changed. I'm I've gotten very good, I think, at focusing on one shot at a time. If I have a bad throw or a bad hole, I pretty much completely forget about it right after and just focus up on the next throw and throwing that how I want it to be.
Nice. Okay, then going to round two, it looked like you jumped up about 11 spots. You were in second place. Do you think that was kind of a combination of maybe a different playing on a different course? Were you more comfortable on Jones East, or was that more of like I've got to make up some ground? What was kind of your thought there?
Yeah, that was more about just being comfortable on Jones East, I'd
Yeah.
say. Um, I've gotten more practice in it East, and I've always been better at East than I have Champions Landing. The type of golf that it demands, I'm better at East than Champions Landing.
Yeah, so let's see. Like on, you were four down round one at Champions Landing. I think I've seen that. No, you were three down. And
Three, yeah.
then round three, you went back to Champions Landing
Uh,
and you actually scored a seven down.
Seven.
So improved on your score.
Mhm.
Talk us through that. Like, what were some of your, walk us through some of the holes where you did a little bit better.
Yeah, so really what happened there mostly, I think I comparing round one to round three, hole two, I played actually the same. I did a lot of it pretty similar. I didn't bogey three and four. I did that first round, I believe. Believe I bogeyed both those holes, and round one, I meant, sorry. And then round three, I went par birdie. My game was just feeling a lot better. The third round, my backhand I was missing a good bit of lines my first round. Third round, I wasn't missing my lines as much, and I had changed something in my putt after round one that was the main reason that I started to get higher up in my scores, do better on my
What did you
scores.
change up in your putt?
It was mostly something with my off arm. Like the first day, I was like closing my off arm. I'm calling it because that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Versus what I should have been doing was like opening my hand. It's hard to explain. It's mostly a feeling thing, but changing that caused my putt to be much more powerful, direct, and just release so much better than it was round one.
What made you want to change that?
Um, it just didn't feel right round one.
Yeah.
And really the having my hand open like that was just it felt a lot better than when it was closed. And
Yeah. Was
yeah.
it something that you had heard or something that that you should try, or is it something that you were thinking maybe I should try this?
Um, it was something that I've tried in the past, but really it was just feeling, just whatever felt the most natural in
Yeah.
that, and it's something that actually I think Niklas uses his not off arm a lot. I
Okay.
really like Niklas's putt, and my putt is kind of modeled after his, but that's something that I think is why he has such a long range on his standstill putts and stuff. Is his off arm? He really uses his off arm, and I think it's definitely something people should try. Is focusing more on the off arm and using that somehow. Yeah.
Yeah. So going back to round three, back at Champs Landing, it looks like hole nine was one of your gave you big trouble. You had a seven on a par four, and looking
Hmm.
at the other scores of the top 10, 12 people playing, it looked like that hole gave a lot of people some challenges. What happened there?
Yeah, that one was hole nine. If for people who don't know, is a 600. It's a 700-foot crazy dog leg over to the right. You have to hit a tunnel shot off the tee. There's tight OB on the left and right, and then the second shot is not easy either, over to
Yeah.
the right, and then into a pretty protected green. So yeah, my drive off the tee, I went OB just straight. Like I threw a fairway driver on hyzer. I expected it to flip a little more. Actually, it was more I wanted to throw it a little flatter, but I threw it a bit too much hyzer.
Yeah.
It went OB left over the sidewalk. My second shot, I was inbounds. My third, I kind of ran the putt, and it hit center cage, like flopped down to the ground, stood up, and barely started to roll, and rolled down to some OB that was hiding around to the right. And it was OB like this much. It was
Oh
really
no.
close. Yeah.
Uh,
My putt after that, it was a bad putt, hit band, kicked to the right, and then I tapped in for 7.
okay. But even then, you still were at, let's see, round 3. You had finished, looked like tied for second. So there was a 3-way tie for second. Then going into round 4, we're back at Jones East, the one that you said you're a little more comfortable with. And you had a good run on for that round for sure. Yeah, a bunch of pars and birdies. So that's an excellent. So by then, were you feeling pretty confident? I mean, was like the feeling of, oh my gosh, I could win this.
Oh yeah.
Was that starting to kick in?
Absolutely. Yeah, that was, I mean, being on home courses, even after round 2, I knew that if I just played my game and played the best that I could totally win. But especially after round 4, I had I had shot the hot round by 2 strokes in round 4.
Yeah.
And if you go back to round 2, I had done the same thing when we were at Jones East. I shot the hot round by 2 strokes,
Oh, sure enough.
and yeah, I did that in round 4 again. And so at that point, I was really confident going into the final round that I would be able to win it.
Yeah, it sounds like Jones East is definitely a course that you're comfortable on for sure. Because yeah, you and Caleb were tied for first after round 4, and then we go into the finals. And of course, you win it by 5 strokes.
5.
Yeah, you win it by 5 strokes. Nice, that's fantastic.
Thank
So, but okay, so going into finals, so let's talk about the night before, right?
Yeah.
You know, you've got another 18 holes. By then, you were only no, you were tied, and then the guy behind them was 4 strokes, Noah.
Yep.
Like, what? Walk us through a little bit of what that evening was like.
Yeah. That was very nervy. I was very nervous for the next day, and super excited too. I love the competitiveness of being at the top of the leaderboard, and I love being able to fight to the win. And I was super excited about the final round, and yeah.
Yeah, any routines that you normally do, or did you do anything to kind of keep your mind off of it, or did you study the course, or like what were your activities that evening?
Really, I didn't do much.
Oh yeah.
We ended up, yeah, no, I don't think I do a whole lot of that stuff most of the time. There have been times where I've like really thought about the course before the final round, but I didn't do that this time. I do remember we had sushi the night before,
Oh
which was, yeah, that was pretty fun.
yeah.
I don't think I did a whole lot of focusing on disc golf though.
No.
No, I don't
Any
think so.
any any pep talk from your parents or your dad?
No, no pep talks really, from what I remember at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so final round, things are looking good. You're playing well on a course you really like. All right, so we're going through the stretch. Let's go through the last couple of holes.
Okay.
Are you nervous? Are you excited? Or what's going on there?
Yeah, at the point of hole 15,
Mm-hmm.
I'd been watching scores the whole round. And hole 15, I had 10 strokes on second place at the time.
Wow.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I had 10 strokes on second place. And I was just super excited because I knew unless I had an insane blow up, that there was no way that I wouldn't win it at that point with 10 strokes and 3 to play.
So yeah, I see on hole 17. Looks like you got a double bogey.
Yeah.
What was that? Nerves? Were you just feeling a little too comfortable? What happened there?
I think it was that I was feeling too comfortable. I think at that point, I wasn't even thinking about my shots. I was just thinking about getting the trophy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I wasn't really thinking about my next shot, and I had an early release off the drive there into a
Yeah.
big cedar tree. Had to pitch out. Not a great second shot, not a great third, and missed a putt. But yeah, and that's what caused the 6. I wish I was focused up more on those shots, mostly just for my rating. I wanted to shoot a
Yeah.
higher rated round.
Yeah, but like you said, you're in the moment. You've got a nice lead, and
Yeah.
so you can't fault you for relaxing a little bit and
Yeah.
already in your mind picturing you getting that trophy and what it's going to be like. So that's cool. Well, that's good. All right. So I also had some other questions I wanted. So
Yeah.
um, well, I guess what's next for you in disc golf?
Um, Going pro pretty much is my next big step. I have one more amateur tournament before I'm going pro, which is Leadstone,
Mm.
playing Leadstone in Illinois, um, in MA1. I'm pretty excited for that.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about that tournament and how it's like a super, super big amateur tournament. And so I really wanted to experience that in the courses before I went pro. But after that, I'm going to be playing in Oklahoma, and I plan to take cash there and go pro.
What event are you going to play in Oklahoma?
I can't quite remember the name of
Do you
it.
remember what town you're going to be in?
Tulsa, it's Tulsa.
Oh, you're going to
Yeah.
be literally in my neighborhood where I live.
Yeah.
I think I know which is at the end of August. I think is what I'm looking at.
Yeah, the Greater Tulsa Open, August
Yeah.
30th. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably be over there. I'll come over and
Nice.
say hi to you. Yeah, I'm
Awesome.
gonna.
Absolutely.
The place where I used to work, Shields, is helping them out with some discs. So I want to go up there,
Cool.
go over there and say hi to people. So that's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Great.
So that's going to be the first one you are going to take cash if you get cash, and then you're going to
That's the
officially
plan.
go pro.
Yep.
Okay, but then what's the big plan? Are we talking like getting on the road? Are we talking, just playing events that are nearby, or what's the big plan?
Yeah, big plan. Overarching plan. I'm currently going to Flint Hills Tech College for multimedia design,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and I plan to use all my knowledge with that for disc golf content on the road. I plan to tour and be one of the best in the game while also making a good content.
I like that.
Yeah,
Who's
yeah.
some of the people you follow right now that you kind of that you're learning from as far as pro and content?
Content, Anthony Bedanza makes a lot of. I really enjoy his content. He's a great editor, and he does a great job at pacing his videos, I think. And then when it comes to the actual disc golf side of it, Gannon Burr.
You like him?
Gannon,
Yeah.
yeah, I love
Yeah.
Gannon. His
Yeah.
dominance and skill is just really awesome.
Yeah. I do like Bonanza. I like his style. I like his kind of how he just kind of seems like he's just walking and talking and just bringing you along for it. Is that
Yeah.
kind of the style you think you want to do with your content or?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the type of stuff I want to do, something that feels more genuine and like you're really getting to know the person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you sat down and thought about the logistics of it all? Like as far as like driving there, flying to places or what?
Not recently. I haven't a
No.
whole lot, but I think we plan to get a B class camper at some point in the future, a small B class. Or no, C? I can't remember. One of
Yeah.
those, something.
Yeah.
And plan to travel with that for my first year on the road. And I plan to tour with a buddy from Kansas City, I think.
Oh, nice. That'll be
Yeah.
good. As someone who traveled a lot for disc golf, having a buddy with you, it will be helpful, especially helping out with driving and of course, just having someone to kind of go play around with and go
Absolutely.
and talk to for sure. Well, man, it sounds like you got a lot of this planned out already in your head about what you want to do. What's going to be the circuit as far as what you're going to play? Are you just going to go disc golf pro tour events or just some local A tiers or what?
Yeah, I think the plan is the Pro Tour. I think that's the plan in a couple of years is to play all the Pro Tour events, or at least most of them. Play some other A tiers and B tiers and stuff too, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, was this the plan all along? Whether, like, let's say you had come in like last again, was that still kind of the plan to kind of go on tour?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Junior Worlds doesn't make a difference much in my future. Like if I got last because I played a terrible tournament or something, that it wouldn't affect me too much. I mean, it would because I got last, and I care a lot about my rating. I'm
Yeah.
trying to get to 1,000 rated. That's my goal for this year. And so that would hurt that, of course, but I don't think that hurt my spirits or my goals too much.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I just didn't know if like you'd been thinking about it and you're like, man, I won worlds now that I'm really going to do it. But it sounds like it was all a plan all along.
Oh
This
yeah,
was just a nice icing on the cake to get things started for you.
absolutely.
And one thing we forgot to mention at the beginning is that you actually work at Dynamic Discs.
I
You
do, yes.
you work in the area where you pack boxes for Amazon. What's it like doing that?
Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun back there. We don't. There's some times where I have a fairly new coworker sitting across from me, and so we get to talk a whole lot, and he's a lot of fun to talk to. He's doing disc golf content as well.
Oh,
He
really?
started, yeah, yeah. Caden,
Yeah. Oh yeah, Caden. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Well, I've
Caden.
talked to
Mm-hmm.
him. Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah. He came and talked to about cameras and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So wow, this is kind of my world, disc golf content.
yeah,
I know you have some YouTube videos out already. I've seen a couple of those YouTube videos, so I'll put it like a little link on in the description where people can
awesome.
follow you
Yeah.
and check things out. And then, of course, on Instagram you do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this though, so I can kind of learn a little bit more.
Yeah.
What does disc golf look like to you as a young player, as someone that's getting ready to go pro? What does disc golf look like to you? What do you look to learn more about disc golf? Where do you go?
I think the content side of it
Yeah.
for me is what I'm very interested in, you know, considering that I want to go into the content side of disc golf. I want to learn what gets the most views and what people want to see, and some of the other things about that I can't really think about at the moment.
Like what's your strategy right now as far as content? How do you? I mean, I know I've seen you do some where you kind of like practice rounds, you talk through.
Yeah.
What are you thinking as far as the kind of content you're going to put out?
Yeah, so I think my content for like if when I'm on the pro tour is going to be practice rounds and stuff, kind of like what Ezra Aderhold does, similar-ish to that. But
Yeah.
then also testing out different discs, doing challenge videos like that. I mean, challenge videos like that are really fun and entertaining for the people watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how are you going to, have you thought about because I know there's some podcasts I listen to where they're kind of debating around the pro and the players that have to go out, they have to practice, then they have to play in the tournament,
Yeah.
then they have to film, and then they have to actually edit. Have you already thought that through as far as what the work you're going to have to put in?
I've definitely thought about how much work it'll be before, and I don't really have a way to gauge how well I'll be able to handle it
Yeah.
with trying to do disc golf content and editing it and filming and playing. I think that's one thing about the practice rounds is that filming a practice round, you get your practice in and you get some content.
Yeah.
And then the off time that you get where you're not really doing much, waiting for a tee time, you know, I think that's where the video editing kind of comes in, and that wastes some time, you know,
Yeah.
takes your mind off things.
I would definitely, if I had any advice, I would say keep your initial stuff very simple. Simple cuts, simple edits, nothing, you don't need the big, fast-paced Mr. Beast style stuff, because that stuff takes a lot of time to put together, and
A lot.
you don't want it to become such a thing that it becomes a burden to you, where you can't get out and practice. And so keeping it simple and just making stuff that brings value to people, I think would be great. Cool. Well, Bennett, I appreciate you taking the time to kind of let us know a little bit more about you and your story. And then, of course, congrats again on winning the World Championship. And I'm sure we'll see a lot more from you. I know that you and I are going to work on some projects while you're at Dynamic Disc. So I'm excited about that, to get that started. And then, of course, Caden, work with him as well to get see what he can do. So I'm excited. I think that's really awesome. I think that's cool. So good job.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thanks, man.
All right, thank you. Bye.